Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Round 2 of the Women's World Chess Championship. Two great players. Former world champion is white, Hu Yifan. She's former champion because they changed the format to a knockoff and she decided not to play. So if she doesn't play, she loses her title, but she gets to challenge the person that does win the knockoff tournament, or knockout I should say. And that's Maria Muzychuk from Ukraine is black. Technically the current women's world champion. It's FIDE's got to screw with stuff. That's just the way it is. So, great game, great game. The first game was a draw. We're going to see what happens in this game. Obviously, it's a pretty good game, or I wouldn't show it. So let's get to it. Hu Yifan is white. Maria Muzychuk, current women's world champion, is black. Hu Yifan, by the way, is from China. They're both very young, and they're both very good. It's going to be an open rear little pay. Let's go through it. Knight f6, castles. Of course, knight takes c4, d4, typical stuff. Bishop moves, d5, pawn takes, bishop, bishop e3. Now, this has been seen, I don't know, a million times, maybe 2 million. Bishop e7. So instead of knight c3, Hu Yifan decides to move the pawn to c3. Now we all see that's, of course, to reinforce the square. It's also given an escape square for the bishop if need be. Castles. Knight b to d2, so her last minor piece is developed. Queen d7, and she tucks away the bishop to hit the knight, threatening to win a pawn. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, picks up a pawn. Whoop, got a little squirrely there with the line. Knight takes, queen takes, bishop g4. Now, according to the computer, that's the last book move. Now, there's several options here. Queen to d3, bishop back to d1, just to, because it'll be really squirrely if pawn takes, pawn takes. Queen d3 maybe, threatening mate, because then he can't take the knight. But she tries to go bishop f4, which the computer wasn't thrilled with. It was okay with it. I just didn't care for it. So now the bishop takes the knight and pawn takes. Rook a to d8. Now white's got a pair of bishops. That f pawns, I'm not so sure how that's going to work out. We'll have to see. Now, Hu Yifan gave this a lot of time to think about this move. Rook f to e1 is the correct move. Now, I think all of us in an instant would have played rook a to d1. She made the right move. That's why she's playing in the World Championship and we're not. Queen e6. Queen e2, but she decides to go queen e3 instead. I think what she's doing is she's stopping the bishop from coming here. Get a good spot. Rook to d7 now. Later that rook to d7 is kind of going to haunt her a little bit. g6 is the computer's choice. And then after that, bishop g3. But she has to go rook to d7. Bishop g3. Now she goes g6. Just change the order. Now the computer likes f4. I like Hu Yifan's move better. a4. Open up queen side. Get this rook into play. b4 is an interesting move, but she decides to go knight d8 instead. Now the computer didn't like that at all. b4 was the choice of the computer. Then after f4, f6. I think she's okay. Now you're going to see later in the video in the post-mortem, I tried to edit out the Russian part of it because they were translating in Russian, even though Maria Muzychuk's from Ukraine. They all speak Russian, and of course, who you found doesn't speak Russian at all. So I tried to get it in the English version the best I could. And she was explaining why she didn't like that. I also want to mention it's been a while since I've done a video. Sometimes life just interferes with your chess. Boy, that sucks, huh? Pawn takes, f4. Now, there's that nice open file for white. What to do, what to do? She does do the computer move. Now, queen to g4 was something to look at as well. That's probably what I would have played. But the second best move is f6, and that's what Maria does. E takes, queen takes. Give you an idea, she had gone b4 instead. Pawn takes, c6. Maybe a little bit better for white than what happened, but not that much better. After e takes, f6, queen takes. Bishop takes, of course, as we all see, is absolutely the wrong move because the queen's in pre. Interesting might have been instead if queen takes, pawn takes, and then bishop takes, and that just connects your pawns, and I think white is better. Queen takes, queen e2, c6, just trying to shore up the d pawn. I think that's a good move. White finally goes queen to g4. Now, during the commentary, and you can see the FIDE has their own channel on YouTube, and you can watch the entire round or all the rounds on the FIDE channel. They have their own YouTube channel, and they weren't really sure about this move, but it is the computer move. Queen to c7 being the second choice. Now this is what black can get in trouble here. f5. Can't take, of course. Can't take with a queen because the bishop's guarding f5. That Ruy Lopez bishop, Spanish bishop they call him. This thing is a monster right now. Absolute monster. Oh, got a little screw in my lines again. I think I'm going a little crazy here. Bishop d6. Rook a6. Okay. Trying to get your rook in the action there. Kind of a against X-ray against the black queen. Plus now you have this pawn in the future you can take if that bishop moves. Rook g7. F takes. Now, this is where I think Maria blunders. Now we're on move 27. To give you an idea, she probably had maybe 5 or 6 minutes left. Started getting incredible time pressure. Now, I believe the time controls were an hour and a half plus 30 seconds increment, which for those of you out there who don't know, that means every time you move, the clock adds 30 seconds onto your time. It's not a delay. And this is where I think she makes the mistake. She went bishop c5. It seems like a reasonable move, and right away it went from a half-point advantage for white, basically drawn, to now it's an over 2-point advantage for white. Bishop takes g3, I think, was a saving move. And after queen takes, queen e6. And I think black's okay. But she went bishop c5. Now, she went queen to g2. Better, I think, is king to h1 instead. Then after bishop, rook takes, pawn takes, rook takes, queen e7. I think it's much better for white. A lot better, in fact. But she decided to go king to g2 instead. Now, remember, she was starting to get low on time, but not nearly as low as Maria Muzychuk. Queen d7, I think, is the move. H takes in time trouble. We're on move 28. Now oh, beautiful. Rook takes d5. We all see why You cannot take. Bishop takes, check. Have to be careful. Bishop b3. Beautiful move. Look at that. Bearing right down on the king. She has to block with knight to e6. And of course now it's over. Rook to d6. Hitting the knight, who's pinned twice now. He's pinned this way and he's pinned this way, so he's doomed. Bishop c5. Queen takes, check. And that's where Maria Muzychuk, current women's world champion, resigns. Tough break for her, because after queen takes, rook takes, I mean, you're down a piece. Plus, you're going to have to lose a tempo moving the king because of this discovered check. Going to go and pick up this pawn, too. It's just terrible. Then you're going to end up picking up this pawn. So she decided to throw in the towel. So it's a tough break for Maria. I think that bishop takes g3 was her savior. It would have been tough going, but I think she could have drawn it. But unfortunately, you get in time trouble, and that's what happens. So pretty good action. Round 2 of the Women's World Chess Championship 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to edit the best I could the post-mortem from the players and the press conference at the end, so I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for that. And as I always say, folks, at the end of all my videos, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
The second game of the World Championship match finished in the favor of Hou Yifan. She won.
Друга партія матчу закінчилась на користь Ху Йифан.
I would like to ask the players at the beginning to say some words about this game, how it was developed and how did they feel during the game. Yifan, maybe you can start. You were playing with white today.
Пані Ху Йифан, почніть, будь ласка.
Okay, so today's game we play this Lopez, and then we goes to this open variation, which means knight takes e4.
Ми
Okay, so the theory goes on like this way, and then now white has several options. Okay, for example, including.
I think it's working.
Oh, okay, doesn't matter.
No, it's working.
Oh, okay, like c3, knight bd2, or some moves like queen e2 as well. I decided to go for this bishop e3, which is also a main line.
But I think it's considered to be not so popular lately.
Але я гадаю, воно не таке популярне.
Well, just also one of the variations, the big line.
Залежить.
Okay. Till which moment, let's say, you knew the moves, your preparation was?
Well, it's just a kind of the typical position. It's hard to say because you know the first, not the first game, but the first white of the match. You can expect everything. So I cannot say that's what I really hoping for.
So I would like also to ask to comment Maria the opening of this game.
Марія, будь ласка, про
Ну, якби цей варіант можна було очікувати.
I guess this variation could be expected.
Even this bishop is3.
Навіть з ходом слоні 3, of course.
Ну, просто в якийсь момент мені перестала подобатися своя позиція.
Just at some moment I stopped to like my position.
Можливо, після ферзь 3 я задумалась, не знаю наскільки.
Maybe it was after queen e3 I started to think for really long.
17.
17.
Queen
Yes,
e3.
yes, I see now.
17-й хід.
But what can you say about the position before? You were satisfied, yes? Or until which moment you knew the position?
А що ви можете сказати про позицію до того моменту? Ви були задоволені? В який момент ви перестали подобатися?
Ну, це важко сказати, в який момент.
It's hard to say.
So, let's come back to the game. Here, you find played queen e3. Did you consider except rook d7?
Марія, які ви ще ходи?
Ну, очевидно, що білі хочуть піти А4.
It's obviously that white is planning to move a4.
Скривати F6 я взагалі не хотіла в різних редакціях.
I was not planning to open F6.
Did you consider knight a5, for example?
Ну,
Чи ви-
кінь А5
Чи ви розглядали хід кінь А5?
мені не подобалося через Б3, С5, А4.
I didn't like this possibility because of B3, C5, A4, this variation.
Ну і тепер, якщо кінь С6, то АБ, АБ, тура А6.
And now after knight C6, 8x B5, 8x B5, rook A6.
Ну, мабуть, у білих приємніша позиція.
White position is more pleasant.
Yeah, fine. How did you feel about this position at this point, let's say? Did you feel that you have some advantage, or what was a moment when you really felt that you are better?
Пані Хуйфані, як ви оцінювали цю позицію? Чи вам
Well, it's hard to say. If you ask me a clear moment, probably it's later on. But this position, well, it's I think just very complicated.
важко сказати, який саме момент? Я думаю, що трохи
Mostly white has a pair of bishop, but instead the king is exposed because this double f pawn.
So what is the plan for white? Obviously, it's just to open the position at one point, or
At least before this queen zero, it's just protecting e5, obviously, and in the meantime, okay, I didn't see any obvious plan for black to clear the position.
So what was the critical moment for both of you in this game?
що стало критичним моментом?
Yeah, I think around this point, both of the players have spending a lot of time to
Yes.
think. So I guess it proved that the position is not clear at all.
So which plan did you choose in the end? And actually, here you just wanted to open the A file, right?
Yes, yes.
Did you consider the move before?
Який план ви вибрали, пані?
Ну, звичайно, що розглядала,
Of course, I considered it,
але я не знала, що робити на А5.
but I didn't know how I react on E5, A5,
Ну, там, наприклад, якось БЦ, БЦ.
for example,
Yes.
BC,
Or,
BC.
excuse me.
Є слон А4, і тоді невідомо, ну, не ясно, для чого був зроблений хід тура Д7.
Bishop A4 is threatening, and the question is why did I play rook D7 before?
So, knight d8, e4. And so about the critical moment still, let's come to this point. Yifan, what do you think?
Yeah, because now obviously white is threatening this f5 moves, so black has to react. I guess f6 or f5 more or less could lead to the same position.
Yes, you would take also probably after f5.
Well, at least.
Що було критичний момент?
This queen e2 is moved with interesting maneuver to g4.
Yeah.
Цікавий маневр ферзь Е2, G4.
So, Maria, what do you think when the things went wrong in this game?
Maria,
Here you
коли-
didn't like your position. What do you think? Or you did still?
І коли ви-
Ну, звичайно, після F5 вже важко грати.
Definitely after F5 it's hard to play.
Крім того, у мене справді було дуже мало часу.
Besides this, I was short on time.
So, and now we can come to the questions from the journalists. Would you like to ask something about this game?
Тепер, будь ласка, or any other questions. How do you feel? You were so concentrated and you remain concentrated even after the end of the game. And how are you going to spend tomorrow, the rest day?
Ну, я сконцентрована, тому що повністю не відійшла від партії.
I'm still inside that game.
Для цього переважно треба десь біля години.
One normally needs about 1 hour for this.
Та думаю, буду більше відпочивати.
Tomorrow, I guess I'll just take rest.
To ask, just let's say, forget about the game for a while and remember that we have here two great champions. Actually, Ho Yifan has been 3 times world champion, and Maria Muzychuk is the current champion. So my question is, at the moment when you became world champions, what has been changed in your country because of your success, or in your city?
Питання від Насті.
Well, the first time I won the title, that was back to 2010 when I was 16.
Перший раз
And of course, my country, my hometown, and all my friends and everyone in China was happy about my result since at that time I think I also broke the record. Speaking about my hometown, chess now is already become one of the most popular sports.
якщо
And I also, I think and I hope that through my results, it will bring more attention, to call more attention from Chinese people to support chess.
Thank you. And Maria?
Марі.
Насправді мені дуже приємно, що після моєї перемоги появився в нашій країні такий інтерес до шахів.
I'm really pleased that after my victory there is such interest to chess.
Як відомо, з вересня в нас появилася програма шахів в школах.
As it's known, from September we have program chess in school
In Львів.
in Lviv.
Ну, у зв'язку з цим появилось дуже багато нових турнірів для дітей.
Because of this, there are many tournaments for kids.
Просто я пам'ятаю, що коли я була там у віці 10-11 років, то мені приходилося грати тільки за кордоном.
Just I remember that I was in the age of 10-11 years. I had to play only abroad. Panie,
Many thanks for this appreciation. Honestly speaking, I don't have any special belief that any kind of things will bring me more luck.
дякую.
You reminded me, actually, I think I bought this back in, I think 2012 when I was playing Gibraltar first time. And actually that tournament I played very good, so I guess probably, okay, yeah,
Це турнір Гібралтар.
original idea. It's just a coincidence.
Yifan зіграла добре.
Та,
Тому,
та,
може,
дійсно
це намисто. So if we started to speak about luck, I just wanted to ask both players, do they feel the lucky people in general? It's like philosophical
Якщо
question
ми почали говорити про удачу, хочу запитати.
in this sense.
Lucky people?
Lucky people, yes. You do feel that you are lucky, like
me?
as a person?
Oh, okay. Yeah, for me, I always consider myself that all the way until this moment, I'm quite lucky because I met a lot of important people who helped me in my from very young age.
Ну,
All the coaches since I was very young all the way, and also the other chess people who might not only the professional chess players but also helped me from different perspectives. And also for because I'm also currently studying, so I have also to mention my schools, my universities that who helped me to support me balance on both sides.
Марічка?
Ну, я більше вірю в щоденні тренування, ніж в везіння. Це все, що я можу сказати.
I believe more in everyday training rather than some luck.
Yeah,
That's
but
all what I can say.
But it's about chess, but what about your personal feeling in this life? Let's say, do you feel that you are lucky?
Я не жаліюсь.
От, як щодо
Окей. Ще запитання?
question to Hui Fuan, are you happy that there is half an hour delay of translation because it makes awful inconvenience for audience?
Well, first of all, this is not something I can decide.
Перш за все, це не те, що я.
So since it already happened, so I think you know, I shouldn't make any comments about this.
I just when the players are playing, they don't really care about this half an hour. I mean, they just play online.
Так як це вже відбувається.
Okay. Patient. Thank you.
Thank you.